I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this afternoon. My name is Maribel, and I have the pleasure of working with this wonderful crew here at Jordan now for 13 years. I see a lot of familiar faces, and great to see some of you joining us today. I'm going to introduce Claire, and then we're going to turn on Chef's camera, and we'll kind of go from there. Claire?
All right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much, as Maribel said, for joining us today. I am the guest services manager, so have the pleasure of working with Maribel and Todd Nitza very closely in offering our guests a wonderful experience that you enjoy while you're here. And today, this is very exciting. This is our first virtual cooking class, or opportunity to work with Todd and Nitza in the kitchen. And you can see how beautiful it is with the hand-painted tiles behind them, and really is a good behind the view scenes. And for me, I'm in the oak tank room. So wine, every vintage of Cabernet since 1976 has spent time in these tanks right here, including that 2014 Cabernet that you have in your glass, or will have, or any Jordan Cabernet that's in your glass right now. So Todd and Nitza will work through a couple harvest salads. And for Jordan, harvest, I mean, as any winery, is a very exciting time. And for Jordan, we have the tradition of harvest lunch. And for us, that means that Todd and Nitza cook for the entire winery for about 3 weeks. And this year, things are a little bit different, as they are for most of you. And so we don't have it exactly in the same way. Of course, our production team, who is working tirelessly for harvest, is being fed, but not every day for the rest of us, which is okay. We can survive. But we take this time of year to not only celebrate the harvest of the grapes, but of the garden and the bounty that we get out of it. So many fresh vegetables and fruits and things that can be made into salads, as you'll see today. And some of our, some of my favorite things that Chef Todd and Nitza have introduced me to is green beans out of the garden with the figs. Who knew that makes an incredible salad? One of my favorites. Anyway, I could wax poetically for a long time about their food. But today, we sent you the 2016 Chardonnay and the 2014 Cabernet, two vintages that are showing wonderful right now. The Chardonnay has a beautiful acid, passion fruit, maybe some citrus notes there, a little Asian pear, find some kumquat, apple, all those things that really make you want to go back for more, and that acidity makes it pair beautifully. 2014 Cabernet, blackberry, black cherry, definitely some beautiful tannin, French oak, and the balance of that growing season allows it to pair with all kinds of things. If you have a few moments in a decanter or your glass, you're gonna get even more out of it if you get a little air in there. So as Maribel mentioned, that you have that opportunity to do gallery view, or the others, you can also pin a video, which I learned today. I didn't know you could do that. So if you hover over anyone's video and you see the 3 little dots in the right-hand corner, if you click on that and pin a video, that's the only video you're going to see. I think that's kind of neat if you want to do that. And again, we'll send you all the recipes and the video. So let's have fun. Use the chat to put questions in. Maribel and I can answer in the chat as well as live. So have fun, and thank you so much. Todd Nitza, off to you.
Well, welcome.
Hi, welcome.
We're gonna, as she said, we're not doing a lot of harvest salads this year, but we are making salads. We're still supporting the team as much as possible, and so we thought we'd show you a couple of salads to illustrate the technique of pairing food and wine. So Nitz is going to start off with the Chardonnay pairing, and with that, we're going to look overall. Let me give you an overview of it. For Chardonnays, we want sharper greens. We want brightness. We're looking for green. So Nitza has arugulas, bronze beauty, some cucumber, and we'll see how we treat those. So the first thing we'll do for this vinaigrette, we're going to do lemon and lemon juice and champagne vinegar. So something a little brighter. So Nitza's already done her. She's going to make her little wet donut here.
Okay, so this is like a silly little thing, but it just is really awesome to know if you don't know it already. It's just to take a wet towel and just twist it like this and make a little circle, and then it holds your bowl. So whenever you're mixing, it's not sliding all over the place. That's kind of a good little trick to have. And so we're going to go ahead and put everything into the bowl to start with the Chardonnay vinaigrette pairing. So we're going to do shallots.
So that for about 1 cup, I would put a good 2 shallots in it. I like to have a lot of shallots, a lot of raw shallot. in the Chardonnay. A little real Dijon mustard, which is made with Chardonnay.
Yep. And then we're going to pour in our vinegar and our salt. Salt is out of view. Oh, here we go.
So this is an important little tip. You see Nitz is putting her salt in, and that's going to go in with the vinegar. So the reason for that is once the fat's introduced, you are going, the salt will not distribute properly. So we're going to dissolve it in the beginning of the vinaigrette.
So I'm going to go ahead and put some vinegar in.
And now Nitz is going to make a typical vinaigrette, what we call an American vinaigrette. We tend to like less acid. So a typical American vinaigrette would be 4 to 1. Okay. Now, typically, if I'm doing a dinner salad here at Jordan, depending on what we're doing, we do 3.5. I split right in between the two. For Nitza, since we're specifically doing a more acid-forward and spice-forward salad,
I'm going to be super emulsified. I didn't know it was going to get grated through there.
So since we're going so citrus forward, she's got to be around 3 to 1. And then when you see mine later, we're going to calm it down with acid and cafe.
You went to put lemon juice in here too, didn't you?
Yeah, a little lemon. Always, I like to use 2 or 3 acids, if all possible. They're gonna, just as wine, you notice like tartness hits different parts of your tongue. As you have different acids, it's going to be a more complex flavor profile across your palate.
Here's another silly thing. People tend to put these in backwards. They put their lemon in like this, and they think that that's, so you put it upside down, actually. And that really gets you.
She does that with margarita.
Yeah, because that's what I use.
So one of the ingredients we're going to treat differently are these filberts or hazelnuts. We're going to toast them both, but I'm going to start hers off. We're going to do a light toast, and we're going to get most of the skins off. So I'm going to throw these in the oven.
And I noticed that you actually used a little of the Jordan extra virgin olive oil. Is anyone using our Jordan olive oil at home for the recipe today? Okay, excellent. I see some hands up there. Thank you, Glenn.
I will put a timer on. Very important. Here's your best tip of the day.
All right.
Good
Thank
rule
you,
of thumb
Glenn.
is lighter the food, lighter the wine. So you can see all the bright colors here. We also like to introduce different herbs to both Cabernet and Chardonnay. For Chardonnay, I really enjoy basils. So we, as many of you that have visited here have seen, we always are growing about approximately 10 different basils. And I really like to use a herb component in my salad. Most people don't expect it, but a little torn basil, and then in the Cabernet, you'll see the tarragon and so forth. So,
Oh, I was going to say, so we'll blanch beans, right?
yes.
You're going to throw the beans in.
So another thing we're going to add are green beans. I don't know if this was on your prep list, but some of these things we're going to add and teach you how to use, and they work wonderfully with the salad. So this is your classic haricot vert, French green bean. Right now, Romano beans are excellent. So you have highly seasoned water.
Extra seasoned, they just put more salt in it. So we have that good to go, and then we have an ice bath. So as soon as they come out, we'll go flash them into an ice bath. And you never want to put too many green beans in the water all at once. Some people put the ratio is not right, and then they'll turn brown really quickly. So you want to make sure you have enough water in your pot.
Yeah, you want to let that gas dissipate. That's what's going to turn it brown.
Okay.
So again, you heard pear mentioned in the salad. So we'll use pears, green pears. Also for apples in this salad, with the Chardonnay, I want a brighter apple, either a Braeburn or a Granny Smith. So just peel an apple.
Side note, Todd eats about $60 worth of apples a week.
Now the reason we're going to peel both of these is I don't want much tannin in this salad. So you're going to get tannin in the skins just as you do in the grapes.
I didn't know it was a race.
I'd like to see whose pear or apple looks better after you peel it.
Oh, now it's on. Let's do it. Okay, my Rexy is set. Let's go.
Everything is a competition in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, that's how you get faster.
Sorry.
So,
Mine was rounder.
so we will quarter them, just pour them.
And Todd, can you share what actual the type of pear and apple that you have?
Yeah, Comey's pear, and the apple was Braeburn. Also, Granny Smith works very well with Chardonnay, but everyone kind of more. So for the salad, you want to think about texture. Again, this is a lighter salad, so I try to cut the apple thin. You can acidulate water to hold your apple in advance, or you can dip it just in your vinaigrette. Slice those in thin. We're going to put the garnish in the bottom of the bowl first. Did I pull through your knife?
What?
You only have a little knife?
I'm not going to race you.
I think we
So
should.
again,
You don't know.
Okay.
So we cut these very thin. Okay, that's not going to bog our lettuce down either. Green fruit with the Chardonnay is excellent. And then a lot of times for texture, you can do it two different ways. You can do a slight dice, and you'll see on my salads, we'll do tomatoes many different ways and give them different looks. That should be about done, and that's the timer also for our hazelnut.
Okay.
Might be a good time to raise a glass.
Yes, definitely time to take a sip.
Claire, what are some of the notes that you're getting out of the 2016, of course, not having any of the salad ingredients yet?
Definitely that citrus that Chef Todd, adding that lemon to it, and then really getting the kind of blossomy floral aromas and some beautiful pear. And that acid on the palate. For me, that's what Jordan Chardonnay is all about.
And then we also like to, as she's gonna, everything we're gonna intensify. So we can do layers of lemon, we're gonna do layers of lemon. So now that she's squeezed the lemon in there, she's gonna zest another lemon in there fresh, or maybe I will. And this is a great vinaigrette. Doing all citrus is difficult to get the acidity right, but it goes really well with the lemon juice, and if you just use a little champagne vinegar. I think that's the brightest, best working with the lemon. And those are essential oils, so we don't want to do that too early. So we've got the pear, and now we're going to add a layer of the alliums here. So we're going to go with a gentle, again, a green onion. So these are just finely chopped chives. Okay, we'll put a little bit in there, and then we'll do it later. And then we can season that as we go. Yes. Then we have some cucumbers. We took some lemon cucumbers, again, nice and bright, and just turned them. And we're going to use the seeds as well. Great textural element.
This year, our garden had like the best cucumbers. They all were so amazing.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hit or miss. You might get one bad cucumber that's bitter, but this year, every single cucumber has been amazing. So too bad you guys couldn't come try them all, but we ate them all.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste,
Feels so
that's
good not
for
to wear
sure.
a mask, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like this is the first time we've been able to cook other than our house without a mask. So dinner tonight is for us, so we don't have to wear one. So that's good.
So we're going to add a little fennel, another nice green flavor. Also, fennel pollen is excellent with these. And I'm just going to do a fine dice on that.
Yeah, that's
I really
like,
like it.
sorry, go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, if you could find kohlrabi this time of year, that's Eastern European, with kind of like a turnip or a green, kind of like a green turnip. It's an excellent mild vegetable that will go this salad as well.
So Todd, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell them about the nuts here. So we just threw them, we threw the hazelnuts in the oven and just get them nice and toasted. And then we're just going to dump them in a bowl. And I'm going to just kind of give them all a good massage and get the skin to crash landing. So we just simply just kind of crush them like this. They're still hot.
Some people put them in, you can put them in between two dish towels. Chardonnay will get most of them off. My hands don't have feeling for this.
Yeah.
And then you can see it's
It
there.
probably smells
And
amazing
then
in the
after-
kitchen.
We'll just kind of start to go like this and start putting them over here. Yeah, I'll just take a piece. There we go.
And then so we've removed the tannin from the equation again. And then we're going to want to smash those. Just put them under a pan, or you can give them a chop. Okay.
So you don't need one of the fancy choppers there, huh?
No, I think I can pretty much do everything with a chef's knife and something like a mallet.
Okay,
And she's good.
and then these guys, these are already the beautiful green plants. We'll go and throw them in.
Yep.
Okay.
We would typically dry it. Make sure these are very dry. All your components should be very dry because if they are not, your vinaigrette's not going to adhere to it.
I didn't dry them off really well. Okay,
And
they're dry.
Do it. So now we have those. We can do a little seasoning just to make sure everything's going to get seasoned. An unseasoned salad is another
That's
thing.
a peeve of ours.
And you will
for sure.
notice that it's a sign of a good or bad restaurant.
For sure.
So this is this is a wild arugula. So you can see the smaller, spicy green. We have Mizuna, Bronze Beauty that we're going to put. Yeah, and then we just hand tear. You don't want to cut your lettuce, obviously. Or you can get one of those fancy knives that are made out of plastic polymer. And then some little basil out of the garden. And quite a few times we'll put, we use the basil blossoms as well this time of year. So now we have a beautiful spicy mix. She's got her vinaigrette.
Oh, and basil.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw some basil in there. Yeah, I love basil. We have so much basil in the garden right now. It's amazing.
So just
And
the
I think
smell of this.
we were up to 6 different types of basil. Has that,
At least.
At least,
At
yeah.
least, yeah.
so all the different
Well, the funny
flavors
thing, interesting thing, like we have the Greek basil, the Greeks, when I was in Greece, they do not use basil in culinary at all. And your frisée.
Oh, frisée. Okay.
So our
Did you
last
want
thing is
to
for,
sit there?
so this is frisée. So it is blanched, which means that it's grown with cover over it, so we don't get the chlorophyll. It's a good bitter. It's not bitter. It's not too bitter for a green. It also has good structure and texture. And you can just tear it off like that. And now the ends of these are just garbage. So you kind of just trim them off.
And why do you do that? It's just not, are those more
This
bitter?
is just, yeah, we were trying to keep this green off in the beginning. We just want the heart of it. You can see it here.
So when it's done, it looks like basically after it's all cleaned, it should look more like this.
Okay.
And when you use your knife, then you have all these hard, straight lines. So it's really nice when you rip it, because
Yeah.
it's more natural that way.
It's more natural and flavorful.
Yeah.
So you can tear that up a little more, and that's the final green for that salad.
Okay. And then a
Also,
little side stem, we'll pull that
anything,
out, right?
escarole would be wonderful in this. Radicchio, not overused. The radicchio can be rather strong.
Okay.
That's it.
More time. Okay. And I think we got all of our ingredients in here, and a lot on the table too. So you got the cucumbers on there already. So you want to just
So,
oh, right here. There you go.
so I start light.
Yeah, you don't want to overdress your salad. That's the mistake. People make it super soggy. You want to just add a little, and then check in and see. Also, check your seasoning when you're
Taste it.
when you're tossing your salad. You want to make sure to always make sure the seasoning's right.
Taste.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see a beautiful, you will now that you'll notice, pay attention, you'll see a beautiful salad at a fine restaurant. If someone forgot to put salt in it,
Yeah, it's
game over. How's that feel? Some more?
good. Maybe a little tiny bit more.
That's it. That's about 2 tablespoons.
And to get it just right, there's nothing wrong if you felt like, oh, it could be slightly more acidic, to add tiny bit of lemon juice and to tweak it once it's in your bowl.
Yeah,
It's totally
the
fine.
lemon juice is a great little last minute.
That's pretty good. You said it should be. It better be.
And then,
Do you want to plate this guy?
Sure.
So as you
So-
as you start kind of plating, I want to officially introduce both of you. Our chef Todd Knoll has been with the Jordan family since 2005. And the reason we are lucky that both Chef Todd and Nitza can do this cooking demo live without mask is that they are also a couple and are married. So they are in the same household and are permitted to cook live with us here without, having them 6 feet apart and the other challenges that we've had to face, so, which is quite fun. And then sharing some of their favorite techniques. I think that's also a plus for us here.
So we want to make sure we get some taste of everything. It's a very green salad. And that's it. You got to make sure you got hazelnuts in it.
Then a good trick, I'm sure a lot of people already know this, but it's big in the restaurant world, is to just take a paper towel, dip it a little bit in your vinegar, just straight plain like white vinegar, and it works really well to clean your rim. It takes away all the fingerprints from your plating, and any oil drops, it just kind of takes it right away and doesn't leave any marks like water would leave water marks. And then Todd, of course, always has his tongs to pull, or his little tweezers to pull out and be able to do some really pretty stuff there.
So it's these little things. So you're trying to make your garnish look like God glued across the salad. So not too placey, but structure, and it's a touch. So there you are, very, very vibrant, green, spicy salad that'll go great with Chardonnay.
Yeah.
We've got both contrast and.
I can go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a close-up view of that plate, Nitza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Want to put it up to this one?
Yeah, probably up to, there we go. And now just for us, go straight away to the camera that's right in front of you. There we go. Yeah, perfect. That looks beautiful. So tell us some of your favorite elements on kind of why you chose these ingredients to pair with well with our Chardonnay. I know Claire touched on that.
Yeah. Not only that, the hazelnut's great. You go with both. Sometimes with the Cabernet, I'll use a walnut because again, you'll see as we go through that, I want more tannin. But I love the fat content and the crunch of the toasted hazelnut. It's just excellent. Also, if you're going to use a different oil, if you come across some of those unfiltered roasted oils, the hazelnut oil is wonderful, as well as walnut oils. Don't forget about those. You're going to replace about a quarter of your oil in the salad with one of those wonderful oils. You have a whole new granny experience. So now we're going to attempt the impossible. So to make a salad with Cabernet, you're not going to see that much. So, but I was charged to do it, so we're going to try our we're going to, as a base, we're going to start with roasted mushrooms. You want to get those in there?
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Okay. And those are maitake mushrooms. It's a cultivated mushroom. I didn't get anything crazy from California. Actually, we don't have anything crazy from California yet. The chanterelles and so forth are coming from Oregon right now. So we could really use some rain for multiple reasons.
Yes.
So the move towards red wine, and this goes for plates as well. So for the nuts, let's look at the hazelnuts. For the hazelnuts, I toasted them until they were almost burnt on the sides, and we're going to leave the skins on them, just to show you. This is going to give us a little of that grill flavor without using the grill. And what we're trying to introduce as much as possible, what we're trying to do as much as possible is add caramelized toasted notes, as well as the fruit notes. We want to pick up that blackberry, and we do not want to hurt we don't want to pull any acid out of it. You'll see how we manage that now. For this vinaigrette, we're going to start with an aged sherry vinegar. For the herbs, we're going to use thyme and oregano and marjoram. So you can see everything darker, earthier. There I use tarragon. Tarragon's excellent there. Also in the vinaigrette, we have black garlic. Black garlic, when I first came across it, was very hard to find. Korean product. Now I've seen it at Safeway. It's excellent if you can find it. You can even get it through Amazon. You can also just poach some olive oil or do the foil thing in the oven for like 40 minutes and roast your olive oil that way. It'll come somewhat the same. But what this does, this is cooked in a warm fermenting room, actually. So it takes about a month for it to turn black, and we have all this umami and sweetness, and it becomes a completely different animal. So that will go in the vinegar as well. Yeah. So my tub mushrooms, I want something that has a little structure to it. This is cultivated. It's very meaty. Has a bite to it. So she just has a little olive oil there.
Yeah, for non-mushroom lovers, what would be an alternative that you would share?
Well, we have other ways of getting texture. The other thing I'm going to heat up right now is some of the farro. Now, the farro, so we cook this in advance. Any good whole grain, I buy grains from Anson Mills. Excellent, excellent grains. They are roasted to order. They are whole grain and they have wonderful taste. So it's not just texture, we have wonderful flavor and nutrition in there. We will heat that up just with a little olive oil.
And you cook that a few days ahead of time, no problem,
Yeah,
right?
that can be held, but I just want to refresh it. I want to put some herbs in it to bring it back to life. We do the same thing with sauces. If I were to clarify the sauce the day before, I would invigorate it with fresh herbs. Put my nuts in there. Okay. So as that's warming up, some of our other products here. So we're looking at
And these salads are such a good base for like throwing a steak on, or
Yes.
throwing chicken or fish on. Like it's
particularly
you definitely put a protein on.
particularly this.
Yeah.
And then a vinaigrette bowl. Are we going to use this vinegar?
Oh, I was gonna
Oh.
do that. Yeah. Or whatever you want.
Okay. So for this vinaigrette, we're going to go.
Where's my donut?
We're going to go 4 to 1. We lost the donut.
Since we've moved on to the Cabernet, we can probably have a little sip of Cabernet for those
Yeah,
of you
please.
in the glass.
So as I mentioned, we have sherry vinegar, aged mellow. The black garlic is very soft. You can just mash it up and it's going to come apart as you.
Chef Todd, if you don't have black garlic, how should you infuse garlic flavor without it overpowering?
Yeah, that's what I said. You can either find, they have roasted garlic oils, but what I recommend is just doing your own. You can cut the top off of a whole head of garlic, put olive oil, thyme, salt, and pepper, wrap it up in foil, roast that for about 45 minutes, and you'll have beautiful, mellow, sweet garlic. The other way you can do it is put the olive, and you'll also get the oil. You can put the olive cloves in the olive oil, bring that up to a simmer. Usually it only takes once, and then set it aside and let it sit in that hot oil. And then you'll have the garlic oil as well as the sweet garlic.
Thank you.
But if you can get the black garlic, try and do it.
Okay.
So also in the vinaigrette, we're going to do a little cumin. Cumin and is another earthy herb. Coriander also works very well with vinaigrette. And black pepper with Cabernet is a biggie. You're always going to see black pepper. You know, the classic thing about the steak. And my easiest pairing would be a grilled lamb, right? Or a beautiful steak with some fat on and black pepper. That's the easy stuff. So to start this, we have the farro here, and when she gets the vinaigrette done, we're going to put her in a season of farro. Now that's going to be the base of our salad.
Yeah. You don't like this one style, or you still do?
Yeah, this is the same thing. We're using less mustard in this because I have the emulsifier of the black garlic still. Also, just as egg yolk is an emulsifier.
While we get that, Claire, can you tell us a little bit about the 2014 Cab and some of those ingredients that Chef is talking about? I think talks to how this wine's actually tasting today and how much of a perfect pairing it's going to be.
Absolutely. Well, in a hallmark of Jordan, as many of you might know is really the balance in our Cabernet. And I know Chef Todd joked, he's going to try to make a Cabernet-friendly salad, but I have to say, in my 11 years here, Chef Todd who showed me how many things can pair with Jordan Cabernet and how versatile of a vintage or of a wine it is when you work with the flavors and the profiles and things like he's working with right now, right? Texture, grains and the flavors, so things that you can all pull out of Jordan as well. This 2014, as a growing season, it was the third in a row of fabulous years. Rob Davis, head winemaker at the time, working with Maggie Cruz, who's now our head winemaker, talked about how you're never going to get 2012 and 13 and 14 in a row again. And to cap off those 3 years in a row, it's balanced. It has still beautiful dark fruit, yet that tannin. And we talk about balance, where it has that tannin structure, yet that acid comes through and makes you kind of refreshed. You want another sip. It's going to pair beautifully with this salad that Chef Todd is making. Although you could just sit on your patio. I see some blue sky behind some of you, which we're all wishing we had. And you can sit out and enjoy a glass of wine and then go in and have your meal if you want to. So again, kind of that black dark fruits, which I saw Chef had some of those figs, which are my favorite, kind of play up some of those fruit characteristics as well. So we might have to sneak into the kitchen later and get a few bites.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I see a few people kind of cooking along with us. So I hope that you, with that first salad, had the opportunity to have a little taste of that Chardonnay, if that's in your glass, and moving on to the Cabernet as well. Being able to taste all those different flavors and all those the spices and all the different elements that Chef's putting here together, knowing our wines and that, I guess the four of us have been here for 4 decades together. So we got 40 years of Jordan wine drinking between the four of us. And of course, adding our tech guru in the background, Kendall. There she is.
Hopefully she has a glass of wine next to her too.
I mean, part of the Jordan perks, right? And
I know, right?
These are employee perks. We have to make sure that we're knowing what we're doing and how well these wines are tasting all the time, and update those tasting notes too.
Very important.
Okay, so now we're going to show you, there's 2 steps we're going to make. We're going to be trying to address the wine and its tannin, and we're also going to make some congruent pairings with a little fig and the blackberries. And I just got the first pomegranates out of just about an hour ago out of our garden. So we're going to put that in as another tannin. So for this one, I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with the base. So we caramelized all the same items. So Nitza had the shallot, she was raw. These we seared in the whole skins, almost black, as we would an onion when we were making a consomme. And you just cut that and again, onion, cooked onion, roasted garlic, very good with all Cabernet and full Cabernet. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to put in the bottom here, this is just the same thing. We took half of the fennel bowl, and we just seared that. And then for Nitza salad, we use the fresh fruit.
You sear it in olive oil, Chef?
What's that?
Sear it in olive oil?
Yes. I use olive oil almost exclusively to sear. The hot oil, this hot pan and olive oil thing is really a myth. It's quite well with our oil, so we saute even high heat. So we're going to put a bed of our grains down. So you have a bit more hearty here. You've got your apple, your roasted shallot, your hazelnuts. Now the hazelnuts for here, you saw we left the skins on, and we've got them on a little toaster. So we had to cheat a little bit with the real food in it.
Can you show us a close-up?
Yeah. So just slice a little base to your salad. And then as you go through the greens, because you'll see the greens for this salad are softer. So again, another move towards earth. Typically we would finish our mushrooms with a white wine, with a wine or another acid. These were not, because we want control over all the acid. We want to pull anything out of our wine. It's already balanced. So that's our base of the maitake mushrooms. The reason we roast them is we don't want them to just fold down into nothing. They keep their the structure. Okay, and a little of the burnt fennel. And then, like I said, we have some figs. Now the figs we use are brown turkey. The reason we use brown turkey figs and not the sweeter varietals, again, we don't want to pull sugar out of the wine. So the brown turkey's the fig of choice when cooking. And we can just give a little bite of those.
We're finishing up the last of the figs down in our garden.
These are the last of the figs, which is rather sad.
We're
And then the blackberries.
3 on property in our garden. So brown turkey figs, we have the mission figs and the Cadota, right?
Cadota.
I'm like, okay, which are the green ones that have that beautiful pink, almost looks like a guava.
Yes. It's gorgeous. Yeah, they're gorgeous on the inside.
And
So,
then I would imagine the Cadota, chef, that would be a little better with a Chardonnay pairing with that sweetness and the acidity.
Definitely. You know, even visually, it's a clue to us as we eat. So things that look green taste green. So it's kind of interesting. So for the lettuces here, where we use the sharp and bitters for the Chardonnay, it's kind of counterintuitive. But for here, we're going to use very soft lettuces. We have butter and bib lettuces. We have some oak. So we grow these, very, very soft, tender greens. We're not introducing anything into the salad that's going to pull away from the wine. So 3 types of greens in there. I think we could probably slice some of the blackberries.
So when you roasted this stuff, what exactly did you do with your apples?
So the apples, just salt and pepper. With the shallot, I put a touch of sugar on it, so we got more of that caramelization.
So you started face down, right? So
Yeah, we put it right on the cut side. And that wasn't even thrown in the oven. That was just cooked through in cast iron. The same with the apples here. So we had 2 kinds of apples, and we just seared them all the way around to get all of that flavor out of them. So this is a great vegetarian dish, actually. There's not much I would change if we were doing this for a vegetarian. I might add some of our house-made soft tofu, or just to bulk it up, but this is an excellent salad for vegetarian.
So you've got your blackberry in here with the mixed greens, so that's your big hearty base, right?
Yep.
So, and we're going to put some vinaigrette. Do you want to just go right into the greens now?
Same deal. Yeah,
Like a
salt and pepper's there. We want to go over here just to hit it one more time, and we'll touch this again with salt and pepper.
All right. Also, when you like mix your salad, some people do it with the tongs. I feel like you just crush everything. If your hands are clean, just give it like, kind of do like a fold almost. Like you're just kind of lightly tossing everything. You don't want to crush it.
So these are these little bits of fruit you're going to find in the earth. We've got the little pop of a new pomegranate, which is excellent. Very winey character. The blackberry is going to break apart a little bit in those greens for visual effect. We'll hide one under the salad here.
So do you want to just pile some greens
Yeah,
right
we're
on it?
just going to layer the greens over there.
And you can kind of put it back into like the original form. Like a pretty little bouquet almost. And then what a surprise, underneath all this lettuce, you're going to be like, yay! You want to just put this right on your dog, like kind of like a little bed right there?
So, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to introduce, it's always great to introduce the fat when we're dealing with Cabernet. So sheep's milk cheese, I don't want too much salt. One of the best ones is an aged Gouda. We have nutty, again, we have caramelization. So that just goes on there a little bit.
All right.
I was like, I don't see anything coming out. That's a great little trick there. Great little gadget there.
I just kind of pinch that a little bit. And that's it. That's the little touch of cheese.
And these ingredients, if you sear these off here, you can hold them in the fridge a couple days. They're great garnishes to serve with other things as well. It's just a really great side garnish.
We chop these up and put them in oils and make flavored oils with them.
Yeah, and so these are our 2 salads here. We've got our Chardonnay, and I'll drink.